Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Mark, and this is English Unleashed for All. Today, I have something incredibly powerful to share with you. Something that could completely transform the way you think about your life. Let me ask you a question. Do you sometimes feel stuck? Do you feel like you're working hard but not getting the results you want? Do you wake up tired? Do you feel busy all the time but not productive? Do you say yes to everyone and everything, but feel empty inside? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then today's episode is for you. Today, I'm going to tell you about a book that has changed millions of lives. A book that teaches you how to focus on what truly matters and eliminate everything else. The book is called Essentialism: The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. It was written by Greg McKeown. Greg McKeown is a speaker, a writer, and a leadership expert. He has worked with companies like Apple, Google, and Facebook. He has helped some of the most successful people in the world become even more successful. And the secret he teaches is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing less of the right things. This idea is called Essentialism, and it will change your life. Now, the original book uses difficult English. The sentences are long. The vocabulary is complex. Many learners struggle to understand it. But don't worry. I'm here to help you. I will explain all the main ideas in slow, simple English. I will use easy words. I will give you clear examples. I will make everything simple. By the end of this episode, you will understand exactly what essentialism means. You will know why you feel so busy and tired. You will learn how to say no to things that don't matter. You will discover how to focus your energy on what truly matters. And you will have a clear plan to start living better today. So, stay with me. Listen carefully. Take your time. And let's begin this important journey together. First, let me tell you what essentialism is. Essentialism is a philosophy, a way of thinking. The word essential means necessary, important, the most important thing. So essentialism means focusing only on what is essential, only on what truly matters. Greg McKeown says that we live in a world of too much. Too much information, too much work, too many choices, too many demands on our time. Everyone wants something from us. Our boss wants us to work more. Our family wants our time. Our friends want our attention. Social media wants our focus. Email wants our response. We try to do everything. We try to please everyone. We say yes to every request. We fill our schedules completely. We are busy every single minute of every single day. But at the end of the day, what have we accomplished? Not much. We are exhausted but not fulfilled. We are busy but not productive. This is the problem of the modern world. We are spread too thin. We are trying to go in 100 different directions at the same time. And when you go in 100 directions, you don't really go anywhere. You just spin in circles. You waste energy. You make no real progress. Greg McKeown says there is another way. The way of the essentialist. The essentialist does less, but the essentialist achieves more. How? By focusing all their energy on the few things that truly matter. By saying no to everything else. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you have 100 units of energy every day. Most people divide their energy among 100 different tasks. 1 unit of energy for each task. They do 100 things, but each thing gets only 1% of their effort. The results are mediocre. Nothing great gets done. But the essentialist is different. The essentialist chooses only 10 tasks, maybe even 5 tasks. They say no to the other 95 tasks. Now, they can give 10 or 20 units of energy to each important task. The results? Excellent. Outstanding. Remarkable. Same person, same amount of energy, but completely different results. Why? Because of focus, because of choice, because of essentialism. Now you might be thinking, but Mark, I can't say no. I have responsibilities. I have obligations. People need me. I understand. This is what everyone thinks. But Greg McKeown says that when you say yes to everything, you actually say no to the things that matter most. Let me explain. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something important. Every time you spend an hour on a meaningless task, you are stealing that hour from something meaningful. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Every yes to something is automatically a no to something else. Most people say yes automatically. Someone asks them to do something, and they immediately say yes. They don't think. They don't evaluate. They just agree. They want to be nice. They want to be helpful. They want to avoid conflict. So they say yes. But the essentialist thinks differently. When someone asks the essentialist to do something, the essentialist pauses. They think. They ask themselves, is this essential? Is this one of the most important things I could be doing right now? If the answer is no, they politely decline. They say no. They protect their time and energy for what truly matters. Greg McKeown says that the essentialist doesn't do more things. The essentialist does the right things. There is a huge difference. Doing more things makes you busy. Doing the right things makes you successful. Let me share a powerful idea from the book. Greg McKeown says that almost everything is noise, and only a few things really matter. He calls this the 90% rule. Here's how it works. When you face a choice or opportunity, rate it on a scale from 0 to 100. 0 means completely unimportant. 100 means absolutely essential. Now, if the opportunity scores less than 90, you say no. You reject it. Only if it scores 90 or above do you say yes. This sounds extreme, right? Rejecting anything below 90? But think about it. If something is only 70 or 80, it's good, but not great. If you fill your life with good things, you have no room for great things. The good becomes the enemy of the great. Most people say yes to anything that seems reasonably good. They think, well, this is a decent opportunity. This could be useful. This might help me. So they say yes. Soon their life is filled with dozens of decent opportunities and useful activities. They are busy with good things, but they have no time or energy left for the few great things, the essential things. The essentialist is different. The essentialist says no to good things so they can say yes to great things. They understand that you can do anything, but you cannot do everything. Trying to do everything means doing nothing well. Now let me tell you about the 3 core principles of essentialism. These 3 principles are the foundation of everything. If you understand these, you understand the whole philosophy. Principle number 1 is choice. You always have a choice. Always. You might not feel like you have a choice. You might think you have to do certain things. You might think you have no control. But that's not true. You always have the power to choose. Greg McKeown says that many people give away their power to choose. They let other people decide for them. They let circumstances control them. They say things like, I have no choice. I have to do this. They made me do it. I had no option. But these are lies we tell ourselves. The truth is, you always have a choice. You might not like the options. The consequences of saying no might be uncomfortable, but you still have a choice. When you realize this, everything changes. You take back your power. You become the author of your own life, instead of living the life written by others. For example, your boss asks you to work late again. You might think, I have no choice. I have to say yes, or I'll get fired. But actually, you do have a choice. You can say no. You can explain that you have other commitments. You can negotiate. Yes, there might be consequences. Your boss might be unhappy, but you still have the choice. You are not a slave. You are not powerless. When you embrace the power of choice, you stop being a victim. You start being a creator. You to design your life according to your values, not according to other people's demands. Principle number 2 is discernment. Discernment means being able to tell the difference between what matters and what doesn't. It means being able to see clearly. Most people cannot discern. They think everything is important. They think every email is urgent. They think every request deserves their attention. They think every opportunity should be pursued. But the essentialist has discernment. They can see that most things are trivial. Only a few things are vital. They understand the difference between busy work and important work. They know that just because something is urgent doesn't mean it's important. Greg McKeown teaches a simple test for discernment. Ask yourself this question about any activity or opportunity. If I didn't have this opportunity, would I actively try to create it? Would I work hard to make it happen? If the answer is no, then you should probably say no to it. For example, someone invites you to a networking event. Ask yourself, if this event didn't exist, would I create it myself? Would I spend my own time and money to organize it? If the answer is no, then it's probably not essential for you. Politely decline. This question cuts through all the noise. It helps you see what you truly value versus what you're just going along with because it's there. Principle number 3 is trade-offs. A trade-off means you cannot have everything. When you choose one thing, you automatically give up something else. This is reality. This is life. But most people pretend trade-offs don't exist. They try to have it all. They try to do it all. And they end up frustrated and exhausted. The essentialist accepts trade-offs. They understand that saying yes to one thing means saying no to another thing. So, they choose carefully. They ask, what am I willing to give up? What am I willing to sacrifice? For example, if you want to build a successful business, you might have to trade off some leisure time. If you want to spend more time with your family, you might have to trade off some career advancement. If you want to master a skill, you might have to trade off learning other skills. This doesn't mean you can never have balance. It means you must be honest about what you're choosing and what you're giving up. When you pretend you can have everything, you end up with nothing. When you accept trade-offs and choose intentionally, you get what matters most. Now that you understand the 3 principles, let me teach you the process of essentialism. Greg McKeown says there are 3 steps: explore, eliminate, and execute. Let me explain each step carefully. Step 1 is explore. Explore means giving yourself time and space to think, to evaluate, to discern what is essential. Most people never do this. They are too busy doing things to think about whether they should be doing those things in the first place. They are running so fast they never stop to check if they're running in the right direction. The essentialist regularly creates space for exploration. They take time to think deeply. They ask big questions. What do I really want? What truly matters to me? What are my highest priorities? What is essential? This might mean taking a few hours every week just to think. No distractions. No phone. No computer. Just you and your thoughts. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you sit in a quiet room. Maybe you write in a journal. The activity doesn't matter. What matters is that you create space to explore. Greg McKeown also says you must explore by playing. Play means doing things for enjoyment, not for productivity. Most people think play is a waste of time. They think they should always be productive. But McKeown says play is essential for creativity and insight. When you play, your mind relaxes. You see things differently. You make connections you wouldn't make otherwise. So, schedule time for play. Do something you enjoy with no goal. Read for pleasure. Draw. Listen to music. Play a game. This isn't wasted time. This is exploration time. This is how you discover what truly matters. Another part of exploration is sleep. Yes, sleep. Greg McKeown says that sleep is not a luxury. Sleep is a priority. Most people sacrifice sleep to get more done. They think sleeping less means being more productive. But this is completely wrong. When you don't sleep enough, your brain doesn't work properly. You make bad decisions. You cannot think clearly. You cannot discern what's essential. You waste time on unimportant things because you're too tired to know better. Then you have to work even longer to fix your mistakes. It's a vicious cycle. The essentialist protects their sleep. They sleep 7 to 9 hours every night. They know that 1 hour of sleep gives them back 2 or 3 hours of productive, focused work. Sleep is not a trade-off. Sleep is an investment. Step 2 is eliminate. After you explore and discover what is essential, you must eliminate everything else. This is the hardest part. This is where most people fail. Because eliminating means saying no, and saying no is uncomfortable. Greg McKeown teaches many strategies for saying no gracefully. Let me share some with you. First, the awkward pause. When someone asks you to do something, don't answer immediately. Pause. Stay silent for a few seconds. This gives you time to think. It also signals to the other person that you're taking their request seriously, not just automatically agreeing. Second, the soft no. You don't have to be rude. You can say no kindly. For example, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I'm overcommitted right now. Or, that sounds interesting, but I have other priorities at the moment. Or I'm honored, but I can't give this the attention it deserves. Third, the no but yes. You say no to the request, but yes to the relationship. For example, I can't help with this project, but I'd love to grab coffee with you next week. You maintain the relationship while still protecting your time. Fourth, the trade-off question. When someone asks you to do something, ask them, what should I stop doing to make room for this? This makes the trade-off visible. It helps both of you see that your time is limited. Often, they'll realize their request isn't that important. Fifth, separate the decision from the relationship. Many people say yes because they like the person asking. But liking someone doesn't mean you should say yes to everything they ask. You can respect and care about someone while still saying no to their requests. The relationship and the request are two different things. Learning to say no is a skill. It gets easier with practice. The first few times will feel very uncomfortable. You might feel guilty. You might worry about what people think. But remember, every time you say no to something unimportant, you're saying yes to something essential. You're protecting what matters most. Greg McKeown also talks about eliminating activities you're already committed to. These are harder to eliminate because you already said yes. Yes. But sometimes you realize something you committed to is not essential. What do you do? First, admit your mistake. You made a bad decision. That's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Don't continue with something just because you started it. Don't fall into the sunk cost trap. Sunk cost means time and energy you already spent. That's gone. You can't get it back. The only question that matters is, should I continue from here? Second, have an uncomfortable conversation. Tell the person you need to withdraw. Explain honestly that you overcommitted. Apologize sincerely. Most people will understand. Yes, they might be disappointed, but disappointing them now is better than doing a bad job later or burning yourself out. Third, make it easier to get out. When you commit to something, build in escape clauses. For example, If you join a committee, say, "I can commit for 3 months, then we'll reevaluate." This gives you a natural exit point if it's not working. Step 3 is execute. Execute means doing what's essential with ease and flow. Most people think execution is about working harder, pushing yourself, forcing yourself to do more. But the essentialist executes differently. They remove obstacles. They create systems. They make the essential things easy and automatic. Greg McKeown teaches something called the minimum viable preparation. This means preparing just enough to start, but not over-preparing. Many people spend so much time preparing that they never actually do the thing. They want everything to be perfect before they begin. But perfection is impossible. So they never begin. The essentialist asks, "What is the minimum I need to start?" Then they start. They learn as they go. They adjust as needed. They know that action creates clarity. You cannot think your way to clarity. You must do your way to clarity. Another execution strategy is the buffer. A buffer is extra time or resources built into your plan. Most people plan perfectly. They think, "This task will take 1 hour, so I'll schedule exactly 1 hour." But life is unpredictable. Things go wrong. Tasks take longer than expected. Then everything falls apart. You get stressed. You fall behind. The essentialist adds a 50% buffer. If something should take 1 hour, they schedule 1.5 hours. This buffer absorbs the unexpected. It gives them breathing room. It keeps them calm and in control. Greg McKeown also teaches the importance of routine. Routine means doing certain things the same way every time. Most people think routines are boring. They think routines limit freedom. But actually, routines create freedom. Why? Because routines make essential things automatic. You don't have to think about them. You don't have to decide. You don't have to use willpower. You just do them. This saves mental energy for the things that truly require your creativity and attention. For example, the essentialist might have a morning routine. Wake up at the same time. Exercise for 30 minutes. Eat the same healthy breakfast. Review the day's priorities. This routine takes no mental energy. It happens automatically. But it ensures that essential things like health and planning happen every day. Another execution strategy is progress. Focus on small progress every day. Don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to make massive changes overnight. Just make small progress on what's essential. Greg McKeown says, "Focus on minimal viable progress." What is the smallest step I can take today toward my essential goal? Maybe your essential goal is to write a book. The smallest step might be writing 200 words. That's all. Just 200 words today. It seems small, but 200 words every day becomes 73,000 words in a year. That's a full book. Small progress multiplied by consistency equals remarkable results. Now let me tell you about something very important. Greg McKeown talks about the importance of being present. Being present means giving your full attention to what you're doing right now. Not thinking about the past. Not worrying about the future. Not distracted by your phone. Just fully here, fully now. Most people are never present. When they're at work, they think about home. When they're at home, they think about work. When they're with their children, they check their email. When they're eating, they watch TV. They are physically in one place, but mentally in another place. They are always somewhere else. This makes life feel empty. You're busy all the time, but never satisfied. You're with people, but never connected. You're doing things, but never fulfilled. Why? Because you're not really there. You're not really experiencing your life. You're just going through the motions. The essentialist is different. When the essentialist is at work, they are fully at work. When they are with family, they are fully with family. When they eat, they taste the food. When they talk to someone, they listen completely. They give their full presence to whatever is essential in that moment. This creates a richer, deeper life. You do less, but you experience more. You enjoy more. You connect more. Life becomes vivid and meaningful instead of blurry and rushed. How do you practice being present? Greg McKeown suggests several techniques. First, remove distractions. If you're working on something important, turn off your phone. Close your email. Close all browser tabs except what you need. Create an environment with no distractions. Second, set a timer. Commit to focusing on one thing for a specific amount of time. Maybe 25 minutes. Maybe an hour. During that time, you do only that one thing. Nothing else. When the timer ends, you can take a break or switch tasks. But during the focus time, you are fully present. Third, practice saying to yourself, I am here now. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back. I am here now. I am doing this. This is what matters right now. This simple phrase helps you return to the present moment. Now let me talk about clarity. Clarity is essential for essentialism. You must be very clear about what is essential to you. Most people are not clear. They have vague goals. They say things like, I want to be successful. I want to be happy. I want to make a difference. These are nice, but they're not clear. The essentialist creates clarity. They ask, what does success mean to me specifically? What does happiness look like? What specific difference do I want to make? They write down clear answers. They create a clear picture of what essential means to them. Greg McKeown suggests creating an essential intent. An essential intent is one clear sentence that describes your main purpose or priority. Not 5 sentences, not a paragraph. One sentence. One clear, specific, meaningful statement. For example, instead of saying, I want to be a good parent, you might say, I will spend 1 hour of quality time with each of my children every day. That's clear. That's specific. That's measurable. You know exactly what it means and whether you're doing it. Instead of saying, I want to improve my health, you might say, I will move my body for 30 minutes every morning before work. Clear. Specific. Actionable. Your essential intent becomes your compass. When you face decisions, you ask, does this align with my essential intent? If yes, consider it. If no, eliminate it. Your essential intent makes decisions easier and faster. Let me tell you something else important. Greg McKeown talks about boundaries. Boundaries are limits you set to protect what's essential. Most people have no boundaries. They let work invade their personal time. They let other people's priorities become their priorities. They let interruptions destroy their focus. The essentialist sets clear boundaries. They decide when they work and when they don't. They decide who gets their time and who doesn't. They decide what they will do and what they won't do. Then they defend these boundaries. For example, an essentialist might decide, I don't check email after 6 p.m. That's a boundary. When 6 p.m. comes, they close their email and don't open it until the next morning. People might send urgent emails. They might expect immediate responses. But the essentialist maintains the boundary. Or an essentialist might decide, Sundays are for family only. No work. No business calls. No exceptions. This boundary protects family time as essential. Setting boundaries makes some people uncomfortable. They think you're being difficult or selfish. But actually, boundaries are healthy and necessary. Without boundaries, you have no control over your life. With boundaries, you protect what truly matters. Greg McKeown says that boundaries are not about saying no to people. Boundaries are about saying yes to what's essential. When you set a boundary around family time, you're saying yes to family. When you set a boundary around focus time, you're saying yes to important work. The boundary protects the yes. Now let me share one more powerful idea from the book. Greg McKeown talks about editing your life. Editing means cutting out what doesn't belong. When a writer edits a book, they remove unnecessary words, unnecessary sentences, unnecessary paragraphs. They cut and cut until only the essential words remain. The book becomes clearer, stronger, better. Your life needs editing too. Look at your calendar. Look at your commitments. Look at your possessions. Look at your relationships. Ask yourself, what can I cut? What can I remove? What doesn't belong? Maybe you're on 3 committees, but you only care about 1. Cut the other 2. Maybe you have subscriptions you never use. Cancel them. Maybe you have clothes you never wear. Donate them. Maybe you have apps on your phone that waste your time. Delete them. Every time you cut something non-essential, you create space for something essential. You create freedom. You create focus. You create energy. Editing is not a one-time thing. It's a continuous process. Life keeps adding things. New opportunities come. New commitments appear. So, you must regularly edit. Maybe once a month, review your life. Ask, what should I cut? What should I eliminate? What is no longer essential? Let me tell you about one final concept. Greg McKeown says that essentialism is not about doing less for the sake of doing less. It's about doing less so you can contribute more. It's about focusing your energy where you can make the biggest difference. Many people misunderstand this. They think essentialism is selfish. They think it's about saying no to everyone so you can do what you want. But that's not it. Essentialism is about finding where you can add the most value and focusing there. For example, imagine you're a teacher. You could try to help every single student equally, but you only have limited time and energy. So, you end up helping all of them a little bit. Or, you could identify the 3 or 4 students who need you most and focus deeply on helping them. You help fewer students, but you transform their lives. Which approach contributes more? The second one. That's essentialism. Focus deeply on where you can make the biggest impact, rather than spreading yourself thin, trying to do everything. The same applies to your career, your relationships, your community involvement. Find where your unique strengths and passions align with the greatest need. Focus there. Say no to everything else. You'll contribute far more to the world by being essential in one area than by being mediocre in many areas. So, my friend, let me summarize everything for you. Essentialism is the disciplined pursuit of less. It's about choosing what's essential and eliminating everything else. It's based on 3 principles. You always have choice. You must develop discernment. You must accept trade-offs. The process has 3 steps. Explore to discover what's essential. Eliminate everything that's not essential. Execute on the essential with ease and flow. To practice essentialism, you must create space to think. You must learn to say no gracefully. You must set clear boundaries. You must focus on minimal viable progress. You must be fully present. You must create clarity about what matters most. You must regularly edit your life. The result? You do less, but accomplish more. You feel less busy, but more fulfilled. You have less stress, but more joy. You spread yourself less thin, but make a bigger impact. This is the power of essentialism. I want to challenge you today. Choose one area of your life. Just one. Look at all your commitments in that area. Identify the one or two things that are truly essential. Now, have the courage to eliminate or reduce everything else. Start small. Start with one area. See what happens. Maybe you choose your work. Identify the 2 or 3 projects that truly matter. Focus on those. Say no to or delegate everything else. Maybe you choose your personal life. Identify the 2 or 3 relationships that matter most. Invest deeply in those. Let other relationships become less frequent. Maybe you choose your health. Identify the 2 or 3 habits that will make the biggest difference. Focus there. Don't try to change everything at once. Start small. Practice essentialism in one area. Experience the results. Feel the freedom. Feel the focus. Feel the clarity. Then expand to other areas of your life. Remember, you cannot do everything. You cannot be everything to everyone. You cannot pursue every opportunity, but you can do the right things. You can be essential to the people who matter most. You can pursue the opportunities that align with your deepest values. The choice is yours. Will you continue trying to do it all and feeling overwhelmed? Or will you embrace essentialism and focus on what truly matters? I know what I choose, and I hope you'll join me on this journey. Thank you for staying with me through this entire episode. You just learned about one of the most important books on focus and priority, and you did it in simple English. I'm proud of you. Remember, less is not just less. Less is more. Less, but better. That's the way of the essentialist. I am Mark, and this is English Unleashed for All. Until next time, focus on what's essential, eliminate the rest, and live a life that truly matters. Goodbye, my friend.